Canadian consumer confidence has hit its lowest level since December of 2022. That's coming from the latest survey from Nanos Research. For more on this, let's go to Nik Nanos, founder and chief data scientist at Nanos Research. Nik, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Marilla.
So why are we seeing consumer confidence take a hit or a continued hit when we've had some of the tariffs pulled off the table, others paused?
Why don't we call it the tariff-induced economic confidence trauma? Like, you know, the reality is I think for a lot of Canadians, there's still uncertainty that maybe today it's a little better than it was a number of weeks ago. But, you know, the thing is, you know, Canadians are risk averse. They want stability. They want to know what's going to happen. And I think the reality is right now, it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride. So people are still pessimistic about the future strength of the Canadian economy.
You also took into account or asked people about how they feel about their own personal financial situation. What did you find out there?
Well, Canadians are about 4 times more likely to report that their personal finances are worse rather than better off compared to a year ago. So, you know, the thing is that for many Canadians, they're feeling the squeeze when it comes to their personal finances. So lay on top of that the cost of living, and lay on top of that the Trump stuff. And, you know, what you have is a negative trajectory when it comes to consumer confidence in general.
And when you look at that, you just ask them what their impression is of their financial situations, right? You don't give them parameters to look at?
No, actually. But, you know, the thing is, Marilla, think of it this way. If you don't feel that your personal finances are getting better, if you're negative about that, you're probably negative about consumer purchases. You're probably a little more careful. You're probably, I think, in this particular environment, and you know what our other research that we've done in this area suggests is that Canadians are preparing for a possible disruption from an economic perspective arising out of uncertainty on our trade relationship with the United States.
So we had both of the federal debates, the election debates last week. I am wondering, because I know you track those numbers as well, if any of the candidates got a bounce from that, who did and who didn't?
Well, you know, the thing is the Liberals went into the debate with an advantage, and they've come out of the French and the English debates with an advantage. It's about 44-36 right now. So still a pretty good lead for the Liberals. There was a bit of a personal lift for Jagmeet Singh when it comes to who Canadians would prefer as Prime Minister. But the fact of the matter is he still significantly trails both Carney and Pierre Poilievre on that matter. Maybe it was Singh's scrappiness during the French and the English debates that helped them a little bit. But, you know, the thing is the New Democrats are back at 11%. That's much lower than they have been. They've been in the low 20s under Jagmeet Singh. Going into the election, they're at like 16%, but, you know, still significantly trailing both Mark Carney and Pierre Poilievre. Right now, Canadians are firmly focused on the two frontrunners, and Singh, as a result, and the New Democrats are basically getting squeezed politically.
So Carney has led in preferred PM since the start of the election campaign. I believe that's correct. I'm just wondering whether that gap is tighter now, if the election, if the debates, saw that gap tighten as well. Yeah,
actually, we've seen the Carney advantage anywhere from 18 to 20 points in terms of his advantage over Pierre Poilievre. Now it's like 47-33, still significant. The other thing that we have to remember is that whoever happens to be the Prime Minister at the time usually has a little bit of an advantage, like a 5 to 7 point bump just by sitting in the chair. But, you know, the thing is that Carney's been able to cruise through this campaign, hasn't been any major mistakes. Poilievre has landed punches, but they haven't really seemed to significantly shake the trend line that currently is favoring the Carney Liberals.
Has there been any change in voter sentiment and what they care about? I'm not sure if that's something that you've done in earlier polling, what matters to Canadians?
Yeah, actually what we've seen is an intensity of focus on Trump and the binational relationship over the last month, and it probably speaks to the advantage that the Liberals currently have. It's like, Marilla, when people are focused on the binational relationship, the Liberals do well. When Canadians focus on things like the cost of living and the economy and stuff like that, the Conservatives actually do better than average. So it's interesting. Think of those two as the two dueling ballot box questions that both parties are trying to assert. And I think for the Liberals, it's focusing on Trump. For the Conservatives, it's focusing on change, but also things like the cost of living.
Interesting. Okay, so just about interest with Canadians. We've seen a lot of advanced polls doing well. What are you sensing about just general interest in the election results?
Much higher. And, you know, the thing is, one of the numbers that really pops for me is how low undecided it is. It's like everybody's got an opinion and everyone is focusing and moving towards the two front runners. And that's why the New Democrats, the Bloc, you remember, we don't talk about the People's Party, but last election, they got 5% support. Now they're down to about 1%. But all those other parties are getting squeezed with the focus. And in the advanced polls, the turnout has been heavy. That's usually good for the challenging party, in this case, the Conservatives. But this election is a little different. It's like the free trade debate. People are highly motivated on both sides of the ledger when it comes to the two frontrunners.
So generally speaking, historically, you see a much larger group who are undecided well into the campaign? Yeah,
usually at about this point in the campaign, the undecided might be anywhere from 10 to 14%. Right now, it's like 6 to 7%. And it speaks to the focus. That said, about 1 out of every 5 Canadians have reported that they might change their mind in the last 72 hours. They're probably going to wait. They waited not just for the debates, the platforms, the costing, and the performance of the two frontrunners before they render a final judgment.
Is that unusual for people to change their minds?
Yeah, it is, because, a lot of times people have inklings, and I think this has to do with how important this particular election is. I think there's a sense in this federal election that whoever they decide to select, whoever becomes the next prime minister, is not only going to have a difficult job in terms of dealing with the U.S. and the Trump administration, but would also need to set down a path for the future. And I think that's what Canadians want to hear from the two frontrunners. What is their plan and vision for jobs in the economy? What is their plan and vision for creating an environment for prosperity? And what is something for the future that Canadians can kind of rally around?
Nik Nanos, I'm going to leave it there with you. I'm out of time, but thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Okay, bye-bye.